Okay, so it's been a while. Apologies. So this video, I'm gonna just do a short one. Just HUDs. We're looking at HUDs, for example. And say you want to create really quick graphic, and you don't want to have to render something out or do it in After Effects. A lot of people do it in After Effects or Post, and they're bringing animated clips or elements, but there are a lot of tools in Ventuz where you can create most of this HUD stuff. So if I was to go into my toolbox, and we get an axis from the world axis tab, and we're going to start with something really simple, and we're just going to say 2D text effects. We're going to use a text effects 2D. I'm going to change my font to the headline, and I'll center my text, so center to the screen. I'll scale this nice and big, like something like this. And what I'm going to do is click on my text box here, my text to import some text. And what I'm going to do is just put in some full stops. Really simple, full stops, nothing else. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to turn the text wrap on and here in the text node wrap here. I'll just turn this on in my text editor. Copy, and I'll paste. And I'm going to paste it a few times. Now, what I do want to do is keep them even for now. So let's start again. I'll paste that in, paste, undo. Oh, there's no undo. There we go, enter, space. I'm trying to go a bit quick. Alright. So I'll paste in a few lines of, full stops. Nothing else, nothing fancy right now. And what we're going to change the line spacing, and we're going to bring this in, and now we've got a grid. So now we've got a fancy new grid. Of course, you can use particle effects, for example, if you wanted to do a grid and have this flickering. The funny thing is, there's so many ways of doing effects, but text effects, some people might overlook and not realize it's actually quite powerful, and you can create stuff with the text and text effects without needing to create something in particle system or bringing in a rendered clip to create something simple, or or keyframing loads of movers and having something flickering on and off. So for example, if I go to toolbox, we've got text effects here on our tab. I'm going to drop the text alpha. I'm going to select text alpha effects. So there we go. And what I'm going to do is load that progress. As you can see, the progress as a draw, it will draw on and off. However, we want it to randomize, so we're going to change the direction to random, and now we're going to have nice holes in our thing. So you can animate this on. So say you wanted to animate a grid in, you could do that, of course. It'll be like 0 to 100. However, I'm going to load this to say, like, for now, say 76. You can do whatever value you like. I'm going to increase the range. So as I increase the range, now you can see I've got the opacity is rather than it just completely going out, I've increased that range, and now they're kind of faded out, which gives us this cool effect. Now as I drag, say, the random seed, now we got this cool animated grid for, like, this cool HUD interface where you have, this looks like there's data being sent, and you can make it look all fancy and stuff. So what I'll do is go here, add a color, solid color in front of my text, give it a nice color, whatever you like. I'll go for this kind of bluish color, and I'm going to go to my animation tab, grab a mover, drop it on in my content window, and I'll connect it to my random seed, and there you go. Now, of course, right now it can go at whatever speed you decide to set it. Right now the duration sets to a second, so if I say I want it faster, I can just reduce that, and you can see now it can go fast and crazy. And then I can play around with the max and min values, and of course increase the speed, and there you go. So you'll get something completely new every time you change these values. It's up to you, but yeah. So there you go. Really easy, fast HUD UI interface using just one line, full stops and text effects. Now I'm going to make this small and put this up in the top left hand corner for now. So And what I'm going to do is duplicate our existing one. So I'm going to duplicate this, so control and drag down, duplicate. I'm going to reset my position to 0, 0, so it's centered back in the screen. And for this one, we're going to keep the existing alpha effects right here. We're going to just leave this on and leave the mover on. But what we're going to do is we're going to add something else to it. So we're going to add a circle. So we go back to our text tab. We're going to go to text effects, and we're going to drop on a circle. Now you can add as many of these on as you want. So you can add circle effect, spark effect, whatever effect you want in between the text effects, and you can layer them, which is kind of cool. So on the angle here, if I change this to 90, it will disappear because I've kind of flattened that angle. So now it's something like this. So I'll rotate the X on -90. And you can see now we've got this radial grid. And by me adjusting the character spacing, you can see I can start to fill this. I can also use the radius. So I can, if I want, I can animate the radius and create all these kind of cool effects. So I can use that radius to tighten it. I can also use the character effects. I can also adjust the width, and you can see as I do that, I start to crop this and get this entirely different effect. Really easy. So you know, just playing around with different values, I get different looks. Really quick, easy. You know, it's great for knocking out different concepts without doing much work. Now I can adjust the speed of the randomness and how much I want to take away from this or put in by changing the progress and changing that range. Increase the range. There you go. So you know, there's no, you're not limited to, you know, one look or one effect. But yeah, and at any point I can say, okay, I don't want this to be full stops, or I can add characters. So as you can see, because the wider the radius it gets, the fewer characters. So we'll need to add characters in. So I could add more. So as you can see, I'm adding more. Let me just reset my width, because the width right now is cropping it. But as you can see, as I add more into it, and I can add to these lines, and I can close these gaps that we see appearing in the thing. And there we go. And I can add more again. As you can see, I'm drawing them on. And of course, me adjusting the line spacing, it will give me a different look. So it's really cool. You can create these radial looks. You can create these nice grid effects, really quick, easy. And if you combine this, for example, with something like using a spreader, so if I go world tab, add the spreader in front of this, I'm going to say no, and then I'll just change the Y position, increase the count, and bring down the factor of the fade. I'm going to slow it down, so about a second. There we go. Rotate this. Now we've got this kind of cool fit with using the spreader. Can tighten this, and of course I can rotate this on the Y, for example, so I can offset them. There you go. And now you got this cool effect. You can also, you know, you can adjust the scale of that, and now you got this cool interface. It's doing all this crazy stuff, you know. And this is the center HUD. But it's up to you. You can do, you know, these are cool tools to use. Really easy to get started with. I'll take the spreader out for now. Now you're not limited to what characters you use, as you can see. It's because it's text, it can be all zeros. As you can see, as I type the zeros, enter, add another line of zeros, enter, add another line of zeros, and so on. And I can create this kind of flower effect. And adjust my line spacing and my character spacing, and also adjust the radius. So I adjust my radius to match that new font, and I get a completely different look. It's that simple. It's you know, it's really cool. Again, if I add back in the spreader, so I just add that back in just quickly as an example, and I'm going to change the rotation and increase this count, and rotate this along here, along the Y. I'm going to click on my color. I'm going to change the draw mode. Right now I'm just making this up as we go along, so there's no, I have no reference. It's just, I'm just creating as we go along. I'm going to change this factor, you know, and we've got this cool effect. So you know, just zeros. It's nothing else. It's just made out of zeros. Again, depending on the font, right, that you have, it might look completely different, you know, and you might look, yeah, you know, whatever font you go. So I've got edit. Let's see what we've got in my fonts. Now I try to keep this really short, so let's see what font. You know, we want a nice zero, so you can actually preview. If I put zero, I can see what font zero would look like. Let's go for this, whatever this freshman is. Okay, there we go. And a completely different look. It's nice and chunky. And I'm just, you see, I've got a star thing right there just by changing the width there. But yeah, really unexpected. But there we go. Let's change that width back, and let's change the character space. There we go. And I've got this kind of cool graphic going on. There we go. But there, it's just nothing complicated, not too hard. I can also go in here. We can add another text effects, and so on. As you can see, there's, you know, I'm creating a really full little concepts or effects. I don't know what you would call these. I'm just like, you're just playing around. But yeah, I can say, okay, I want to add spark effects in here. Let's see what it does. As you can see now, it's going to animate in from the 0 to, and you know, animates in there. But maybe I want this to be random as well. There we go. Now they're all flying in. Maybe I want it in a specific direction or both. So I can set these all to both and see what it does. Now we can animate this in, and we kind of build this world up, or this little ring environment as this is spinning, for example. So I could have a mover. So if I set this to -90, if I click this little button here, it'll pop out the mover. It's easier, just easier for you to see what I'm doing. Slow this down. Again, can do the same. Maybe this is going linear on the X, and I'll slow this down, and we get this cool effect. And there's no limit to what you create, to be honest. We can speed this up or bring it down. So let's speed these little changes up. Up here, increase that range. Now change this value. There we go. So I can animate these in and out, and I get a completely different look every time. You see it's a bit chaotic right here in the middle, but yeah, that's up to you what you do. And if I change this now to, I don't know, let's try some backslashes. Yeah, and we're getting a completely different look, different characters, but you know, it's cool. I like it. Anyway, hopefully that's useful. You know, it helps you get an idea like different ways you can build HUDs. I've shown different ways. I think you know, keyframing rectangles and using movers and alphas and textures. I think I've done it using particle system. You know, there's many ways of doing it. There's, you know, whatever way you prefer. They're just don't overlook tools like this, that the you know, the text effect, something as simple as that can create something more complicated really easy. But yeah, draw your day, evening, morning, or night. Again, thank you again. Always good making these videos. I enjoy making these videos. We're trying to hit the 1K subscribe, but yeah, if we can do that, that'd be fantastic. Enjoy your evening, morning, day, night, wherever you are. I'll try to make more little tip videos like these. Yeah, okay, bye bye.